It is time for the Weekend Dawn Review. Next guest says that the fiercest fight you will ever fight is the one within you. Important conversations that you will have are with the girl in the mirror. Her book is called Girl, You're All That, and it drives home the need to celebrate the masterpiece that you are. We are now joined by the author Fikile Oyekanmi to tell us a little bit more about the book. A very good morning to you, Fikile. Thank you very much for joining us here on a Weekend Dawn for the review. Ultimately, reading your bio, I mean, you say that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, and don't forget to bring yourself along. I'm just looking at the inspiration behind the book and perhaps how this whole process culminated into your latest offering. What did it look like?
Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Yes, like you're saying, I've written a book called Girl, You Are All That. And the intention really was to motivate women to be comfortable with looking at themselves, to say to themselves, you are all that. Like you rightfully said when you started, that the fiercest fight you'll ever fight is the one within you. So I believe that part of the reasons that it is said that as women we are not able to get along, it's because we've not been able to have the right conversations with ourselves. If you are not able to love yourself, if you are not able to appreciate yourself, it will be difficult to do the same for other people.
On that note, I mean, we can see the different pressures, societal structures that have been put in place to that continues to communicate some of the misperceptions and issues plaguing society, particularly geared to women. Now, Fikile, I just want to look at the manner in which you wrote the book, the style, the themes that you explore. I mean, there's quite a lot of themes that one can look at. But how did you manage to hone it in on what you offer?
I've written, this book is not just words, but I've also detailed my own experience, with coming from a very deprived background where I didn't have a father, where my mother was most of the time absent. I also talk about the pain that I've experienced being molested as a child and not having a father and some of the things that I've experienced that have brought me shame. So I've written it in such a way that it is a conversation from me to another girl to say, there are things that you don't have control over. For instance, where your life starts, you don't have control over it. And right now as a country, we know that one of the things that we are really battling with is gender-based violence, and it's something that we don't invite. But if you have experienced it, you cannot cage yourself and say you cannot move on, you can't do great things because you were raped, you can't do great things because you come from a poor background. So this is really a story of a girl. I'm not saying I am where I want to be, but I am not where I used to be, irrespective of the journey that I have experienced, irrespective of the poverty that I've come from. I have decided that it's not going to define me. And I know that it is a story of a lot of women in South Africa. The issue of poverty, like I've also said, the issue of rape and molestation, it's something that we should not allow ourselves to be defined by. Hence, I'm saying, girl, you are all that.
It's definitely a book that offers, a glimpse into the journey of healing, not only for yourself, but as all great arts work do, ultimately inspires all those who come into contact with it. I'm just looking at what you mentioned about narratives, what your belief system was as you had to rework, relearn, unlearn, learn some of the new ways of operating. I mean, what were some of these self-deprecating thoughts you had? And then how did you manage to rewrite those narratives?
I'm a strong believer in God. We're living in an environment where things change, opinions change. Whoever that supported you today may not support you the following day. My background is a background of lack of stability. So I had to find something that is stable every time, and that is my faith. I've had a very good relationship. I'm a Christian. I've got a very great relationship with God, and that has been my form of stability. Like I've mentioned earlier, I didn't have a father. My mother was most of the time not present. I had dreams that I didn't have finances for, so that background of that foundation of instability, I had to find something that I can look at that will be constant in my life, and that has been my faith, and that is what has carried me throughout my life, to fulfill some of my dreams, to be able to get over some of the hurt that I've experienced.
Fikile, we have to wrap up the conversation. We've come to the end. I want to hear from you in one sentence. What makes you proud to be a woman?
Just the fact that as Fikile Oyekanmi, even if there are 1 billion people who bear the same name as me, I'm the only person that has that name, or I'm the only Fikile Oyekanmi that is me. And I believe that as women, we need to embrace our uniqueness. There is inborn tenderness that we have that no one else has. So that's what makes me really proud to be a woman, to say there are things that I possess that I don't even have to go to school for, just attributes like compassion, that tenderness. It's something that you don't buy anyway, and that's what really...
I'm going to have to leave that conversation there. Again, author, MC, and, storyteller extraordinaire, just speaking to us about her book called Girl, You Are All That. Again, thank you very much for your time.